Welcome back. It's just gone to after 12 o'clock, and we are going to talk to Tracy Feinstein, call center manager at SADAG. And I can tell you that um, I'd, I'm looking forward to chatting to her, but I think the subject matter is a bit dark, it is a bit depressing, but it's a reality we have to face. It's something we need to talk about so that hopefully we are better prepared to deal with young people suffering from depression and, of course, also with suicide ideation. Tracy, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for the invitation to have us on the line with you.
Absolutely. We actually talk with SADC pretty regularly, and
We
rightly
do.
so. We do need to bring to the attention of our public the risks, the issues at hand, the issues in the country, but also more importantly, that we have an amazing organization such as SADC who are just a call away 24/7. So God bless to one and all.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about teen suicide and Teen Suicide Prevention Week. Why is it such a critical moment on the mental health calendar in South Africa?
Mm. Well, I think the most logical explanation is that our teens are important. This is the future generation of our country. And as life continues to unfold and gets super busy, um, our teens need support. And I think we're going to unpack a lot more as to how quickly their moods, emotions change, how little support they do have, how are they feeling. And so for us to spend an entire week on this campaign and highlighting the important value of their lives and that they matter and that they are being listened to is incredibly important for us. And if we can make mental health matter that much earlier in people's lives, hopefully we start to make an impact to future generations and in the years to come.
Please God, yes. Sadly, I think there's still a horrible stigma towards mental health. And I can't understand it because mental health is like any other illness. The
Mm,
only difference is that it's in the head. But be
mm.
that as it may, from your experience, from SADC's experience, what are some of the biggest pressures facing teenagers today that may impact on their mental well-being?
Mm. So I love that you asked this question, and it's probably the most important part of the conversation. And, the campaign that we run is not only external as to get to the communities, but we also talk with our volunteers. We engage with our counselors. They're the ones that are on the phone. And number one that often comes up is the element of bullying, which is really sad because it's either on digital platforms, so social media, or there's physical bullying. And often this is taking place at school. So, really sad. The teachers are not equipped to handle it. Parents are perhaps isolated, and the child really feels alone. What was also shared is the element of relationships. So, we do have romantic relationships for young teens. And I think you and I can probably remember what was it like when we had our first boyfriend or girlfriend. Um, and when they broke up with us, I mean, our world fell apart.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Exactly. And I think it's still the case today.
Mm,
One of the difficult parts is that as adults, we know that there will be another relationship, there will be another boyfriend and girlfriend. But in their world, in the teens' world at that moment, that's everything. And they were envisioning a life together. And unfortunately, I think there's a huge gap where parents are busy and they don't have the time to have these valuable conversations and just connect emotionally. That being said, we also have a relationship disconnect between parents and children. Parents are busy. Parents are pushed to work 24/7. By the time they come home, I think a lot of people just pass in the passage and tend to say, "How was your day?" And as long as you say good, well, then that's all okay. And that's not reality. And then interesting, I want to just share quickly, and I'd love to hear what you're going to say. Interesting enough, our counselors actually gave feedback as to there are so many teens that are living in a household that is actually run by a grandparent. And now we have this generation gap, which is what you said, understanding mental health and learning how to get support for mental illness. There's a huge generation gap. So those are some of the common areas that came up in our discussions.
What is it that we're having to do, Tracy, to become more aware of mental health issues, to talk about it openly and freely without being judged? And by so doing, we don't miss those signals that somebody is in deep despair, in deep trouble. And if we don't intervene, that person is going to commit suicide.
Yeah. I think we need to find the time to become human again. You don't know how, you don't have to be that person has to fix the situation. You don't even have to know that much about suicide. But when you see somebody with their head hanging down, the body language is all despondent, when you see tears rolling down, I think that we all need to go back to that basic instinct of care. How can I help you? What can I do for you? I'm going to just sit here and listen. If you want to talk, I'm going to talk. If you don't want to talk, I'm just going to keep passing the tissues until you turn to me and you say, okay, let's just chat. I don't even know where to start. And I think so often it is that moment, which probably only takes 2 or 3 minutes out of a parent, a guardian, a teacher, a pastor, a loved one. It takes 2 or 3 minutes to kind of freeze frame and be there for that teen. It could save a life. And I think we do all know how to be caring human beings. We just need to allow ourselves the time to say, let me help you.
Teen Suicide Prevention Week is about awareness, but it's also about action, like you have just indicated. What campaigns, initiatives, or activations is SADAG running during this week? And I should imagine this is going to go out full force in schools and tertiary spaces.
Absolutely. So our campaign for Teen Suicide Prevention Week started on Sunday and it will run to this weekend coming. We're incredibly grateful to all the media platforms. So whether it's radio, TV, and we're live streaming all the way to get to the communities who are listening. And if today one person hears this message and says, I'm going to take the chance, I need help, I need support, and they phone SADAG or they get on the chat platform and they speak to a counselor, then we are making a difference. As you say, we are out and about in the schools. That is a huge community that we are servicing and supporting. In fact, today in Johannesburg, we have a school outreach team, fondly known as our Scouts, and they are visiting 2 different schools in different communities. At the moment, we are very focused in that we are trying very hard to cover the need in Gauteng, in Johannesburg. And if we have schools who are listening, if we have funders or donors who could help us expand the school outreach into other provinces, we'd love to hear from you. Because at the end of the day, SADAG is an NPO, And we rely on the support from donors, from funders, to extend our outreach that much further. We've
Okay.
also
Carry on, and then we'll go for an ad break.
Okay. We've also significantly given focus on our website. And so people who are not ready to make the phone call, please go on the SADAG website and have a look. We have resources, we have videos, we have toolkits easily accessible for anybody who is needing help, or somebody who is looking for direction to help a loved one and a young teen.
Tracy Feinstein, call center manager at SADAG, is our guest. We're talking about Teen Prevention Week. Let's go for an ad break. When we come back, we'll be talking to her some more.
Activate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
You South African, of course. You anxious about the future. We've got you covered. Build on your wealth portfolio with Randry Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange. Visit us at 151 Stephen Dlamini Road, Musgrave, Durban, or call us on 031-202-4700 for more information. Randry Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange, your passport to gold investment.
For the first time, I can dream again.
The Africa Muslims Agency Orphan Hope Program provides the food, clothing, and basic support needed by thousands of children across the world. Every child deserves a chance at a hopeful future.
For 50,000 rands, you can transform our lives with the AMA Orphan Hope Program.
Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Dad, these Frymax chips are so tasty.
Wow, that really takes me back. My dad bought me a Frymax chips every day after school. They were my favorite when I was your age as well. Quality is at the very heart of what we do, and that's why we ensure that every Frymax packet is filled with the beautiful goodness and flavor-packed taste that you've come to expect from us since 1982. Frymax, from generation to generation.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media. Humanitarian journalism.
Welcome back. It is exactly 12:15, and we are talking Teen Suicide Prevention Week. Our guest is Tracy Feinstein, call center manager at SADAG, talking to us about this very, very important subject, how we can hopefully prevent a possible suicide. So, Tracy, welcome back to you. If a teenager, or even an older person for that matter, we know it's not only teenagers who have suicidal thoughts if they're going through depression, etc. So if someone is listening to us right now and feels very overwhelmed or alone, what would you want them to take away from our conversation today?
What I would want anyone, in particular our teens, but as you say, it could be anyone who is battling. You don't need to do this alone. And take the brave step. Make a phone call to SADAG. Our helplines are open 24/7, 7 days a week. Get on a WhatsApp chat and start the conversation. The campaign slogan this year is "We are listening, Silaleli."
Wow.
And even as I say it, I feel like I get goosebumps. I think that one of the things that in our busy schedule, which kind of like leads on to what we said a few minutes ago, is for schools, for parents, for guardians, for grandparents, make this the week that you hold a different conversation with your loved one, which may not be a team, but with your loved one, and say, talk about emotions. How are you feeling? I'm concerned about you. Could I help you? Instead of just rushing in the passage and saying, good day, bad day, sad day, happy day, what can I do to help you with your homework? Take 5 minutes to really connect. You know, even when we talk about the elements of bullying, which is so really hard for somebody to share when they are being the victim and they've been bullied, it takes so much to give them that support in the conversation to say, talk to me. It doesn't matter. We're going to help each other. And I think that's the message that I also really want to give to people, is that, yes, we've got the helplines open and we're listening, but parents, guardians, teachers, take on this slogan as well. Silaleli, listen to the teens. Don't go in with any judgment. Just be there to help them. And even if you can't address their immediate need, encourage them to phone SADAG, speak to a counselor. We need to realize that teens, unfortunately, do act in emotions. And so the change from thinking that they're depressed to taking on an action to end their life is often very quick. And this is where parents say, I wish I heard or I'd seen the warning signs.
So, Tracy, we talk about teenagers, and I'm kind of wondering, teenagers who take this horrible step because they just feel that there's just no way out of the darkness that they're trapped into. I'm kind of wondering, are they born this way? Are they born with issues around mental health? And as they grow up, will the environment have made an impact negatively on their lives? Is it the environment that was not hearing them? And could we, let's just assume we were in the ideal, perfect world, that we could pick up all the signs from all of our young people around us. What would you say, or how early on in their lives would we be able to pick up that this particular child at age 8 or 10 is displaying depression? He or she is always talking about being sad and is listless and disinterested in everything around them. Would that perhaps be an indicator to the child becoming severely depressed and later on wanting to perhaps or contemplate suicide?
So first of all, the teens and the youngsters are not born this way. And so certainly there is a significant contribution from environment. And so if we consider the elements of abuse, bullying, economical constraints, families are battling. There are many families where there are two parents that are not having an income, and it's really getting desperate when, how do they put food on the table? How do they get clothing for their children to go to school? And children are seeing this. So the cycle of poverty, of desperation, is also contributing to their worldview, what the teen sees or the young one sees. It's vitally important for us to recognize these early warning signs. And it often starts with young children displaying the element of anxiety. Okay. So they're expressing certain feelings about school or even primary school. Or a few years ago, there was a child as young as 6 years old who ended his life in a bathroom at school. And it's so hard when we say those words, what would a child of 6 need to worry about? How impossible is it to believe that a child as young as 6 years old couldn't get care and support in that desperate time? And so it often starts with the element of anxiety. So you would see children, perhaps indicating a shortness of breath, they're anxious, they are feeling perhaps what we may, as adults, may describe as a bit hyper. But then also the anxiety left untreated often moves over to depression, because now the child is thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I different? And when that depression area starts to affect the child's life, we start to see children and young teens withdrawing, isolating themselves. Unfortunately, a lot of them get more active on social media, but not with positive and supportive psychology or supportive affirmations. And they very quickly start going down the rabbit hole. So this is why we cannot brush off the conversations. Oh, they're just a teen. They're always in the bedroom. The door is always closed. They've always got earpieces in their ears. As parents, guardians, we have to create that space where we do learn to talk to one another and feel the connection. Hug your teens when they come home. Let it be a common normality in a home, that you give your teen a hug and you look in their eyes and say, how was your day? Tell me about it. Or I see that you and I need to have a chat. Why don't you have a sandwich first? You've come home, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. Go outside, sit in the garden, so there's no distractions like music and TV. Isolation is one of the most common elements that we tend to hear when we are reflecting on behavior of teens. So anything possible that can be done to prevent that, and if you're aware of that, then reach out for help. And again, I just encourage you, make the phone call, chat to SADAG. The calls are private, they're confidential. You don't even have to give your name. If a teen is listening to this, you don't even have to give your name. Just talk to the counselor.
Finally, you alluded to social media a couple of times during the interview. So let's understand the role of social media playing into the teens' mental health today, and how can it be used more positively during Teen Suicide Prevention Week?
Well, I'd love to say to all the teens and parents listening today, make sure you're following SADAG on your social media platforms. Like us, follow us, and click on the links that we provide so that you get help. It's a whole nother conversation for another day about social media. But I think it is important for teens to review, who are they following? Who are they checking out? And is that person having a positive influence on their life? You and I both know that life is never going to be sunshine, stars, and magic all the time. So it is important to have people that you are following who perhaps are going to provide powers, positive psychology, affirmation, meditation, or mindfulness techniques, so that when you are battling, stressed out and overwhelmed, that you do have another angle to follow, and that you're not only following the excitement of frivolous social media, that you do start to develop something that resonates with you. And takes care of your own mental well-being. So look at the influencers that you are following on social media. Are they always just the person that's always got the lipstick on and looking perfect? Or do they have a real part of their lives? And I think it's really important. Again, these conversations should be taking place in the teen households, so that parents and teens can say, this is why I'm following this person. This is what I see on social media. The parent can also invite or share their opinion, but we need to be able to understand that the power of social media does change how we see ourselves if we are in a depressed, anxious, or overwhelmed state. So for the teen that is not feeling good, you need to disconnect with social media and rather phone a SADAG counselor.
And that's where we leave it. Thank you indeed for your very, very positive messages today regarding, obviously, Teen Suicide Prevention Week and the amazing work that is done by you and all at SADAG. Thank you once again. God bless.
Thank you.
It is exactly 12:28 and we are moving along onto our final interview for today. We'll be talking with Pastor Seth Niker. He is a Heartlines facilitator and a leadership consultant. So do stay tuned for that interview as well.